Have you ever wanted to create a game just like Naughty Dog, such as Uncharted? Well, with these simple tools that I've developed for Dreams, you can do just that. I'm going to walk you through how you can build a game just like this. So here we have an Uncharted level block out. We've got a beginning area here, a combat area here, and a climbing section to finish it off, which ends at the top here. So to fill this level with gameplay, we need to go to the Untraveled Adventure Cover Shooter Kit. It's a collection here in Dreams, and it has all the elements to create an Uncharted style game. So the first thing we need to do is import the Untraveled Adventure Cover Shooter engine right here. There we go. Make sure to turn off preview invisibility, scope in and delete this test map here. Now in the Adventure Cover Shooter engine, we have these colored blocks here. This one, the green one, spawns the player. The red one spawns an enemy. On the microchip, you can change what you want the enemy to spawn as. For example, you can spawn him standing only, you can give him a helmet, and you can change his weapon. For example, let's give him an assault rifle, and then it spawns the enemy that you need. This brown one spawns weapon pickups. So for example, if I select, let's say, an assault rifle, and maybe this one can be an RPG. There you go, that's how you spawn weapon pickups. So if I put the player spawn down here and play it, there's your weapons, pick them up. Spawn some enemy blocks. And these will be the most essential things you need just to make checkpoints. This yellow object here is a climbing ledge. So wherever you place these against a wall is where your character will be able to climb and traverse it. So if I place these here, we can climb any wall as long as these objects have been placed on it. Ta-da! But right now, all we need is the green player spawn block. So copy one and scope it out, and then place it at the beginning of your level where you want checkpoint 1 to start. So I'll put it right here. Now, the next thing you do is to go back into the cover shooter kit, the adventure cover shooter kit, and add the checkpoint variable logic. This is a special microchip that handles checkpoints for Uncharted style games. So all we have to worry about here is this selector and these microchips that plug into it. These are our checkpoints. So if we open up checkpoint 1, we're going to use this switch here to assign the green block to the first checkpoint. So we plug that in, and then when we hit play, we will spawn here, and the bottom left says checkpoint 0. So we need to add progression. So on the same first checkpoint microchip, there is a zone that detects the player. When you enter this zone, it will move to the next checkpoint. So I'm just going to put this down here. So then when we play it, we move forward, bam, next checkpoint. So now we want to have a combat area. Here's how we do that. So we go back into the engine, and let's say we want a player and one enemy. We will now move our enemy and player spawn into the combat area. So I want the player to spawn here, and the enemies can be all over the place. And what we're going to do is we're going to take the enemies and the player spawn, and we are going to group it. Now we're going to L1 and square to open up the group tab or whatever it's called. Now we want another checkpoint, so we'll just copy this one and plug the next selector port into this generic checkpoint. We plug the switch into the group of the player and enemy spawns, and don't forget to set the end checkpoint zone for checkpoint 2 as well. So we'll put this at the top of this little mountain here. There we go. When we hit play, we're back at checkpoint 0. So we can go enter checkpoint 1, and then the enemies will spawn at the beginning of the checkpoint. Now, if you want to switch between checkpoints, hold R3 and press down or up on the D-pad, and you can switch between your checkpoints. Now, we want some cover to be able to hide behind. So what we need to do next, go back to the Untraveled Adventure Cover Shooter Kit and select this immutable default cover object. Place it somewhere out of bounds. Make sure, once again, make sure that preview invisibility is off. Scope into it and then clone this top object, scope it out, and then place it where you want your cover to be, because this object holds logic that tells enemies where they can hide. So we just place them around. Then when it's all done, here's how it strings together. We start at the beginning, we enter the next checkpoint, enemies will spawn, take cover, pick up weapons, enter combat, and congratulations. You've just made an Uncharted game in a couple of minutes using my very simple, hopefully easy to understand tools. Do a bit of climbing, do a dive jump, and so when all enemies are dead, it's now safe to climb the wall and then get to the final checkpoint. And up we go. And this will lead us to checkpoint 2. Or, if you want that to be the complete end of your level, instead of the next checkpoint zone going to the next checkpoint, you can plug it into this here, into the doorways chip, next scene. Then when you enter that zone, it can go on to the next scene. And that was how to make an Uncharted game in Dreams. Hopefully that was understandable, and I look forward to possibly the one thing someone creates. But thanks for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed it anyway, even if you're not going to use it. But yeah, Uncharted is great. I love it.
Bring it on.
Make your own.